Boys and girls, Mrs. Johnston here. We are going to start our next unit on plants. We are going to combine our read alouds and science for this unit. You will be learning about plants for the next few weeks. Plants are a type of living thing that you see all around you. If we look at the image on the screen, living things have certain similarities or things in common. All living things need food, water, and air. People and animals are living things because they all need food, water, and air. In the same way, plants, like trees and flowers, are also living things that they need food, water, and air. So, what three things do all living things need? Did you say food, water, and air? If that was your response, you were listening to the details. Living things also reproduce or make babies that look like themselves. Since plants are living things, they also reproduce to make other plants that look like themselves. Can you name some of the pictures in our image? Did you say a cat or a kitten? Maybe you responded with roses or flowers, trees, grass, rooster, ant. Those are all pictures that we see. Those are all examples of living things. We've just been talking about living things, but we also need to know about non-living things, such as rocks or buildings. These non-living things do not reproduce or have babies, and they do not need food, water, or air because they are not alive. I am going to read a list of things, some that are living and some that are non-living. If what you name is alive, I want you to respond with, that item is living. If what I name is not alive, I want you to respond with, that item is non-living. So let's try one together. My first item is a dog. I would respond back with, a dog is living. Remember, I used the item to reference in my sentence. Let's try the next one and see if you can get it. A tree. Did you say a tree is living? If you did, you were right. How about a rock? Did you respond with, a rock is non-living? If you did, you were correct and using a complete sentence. Let's keep moving. A cat. Did you say a cat is living? How about a chalkboard? Did you say a chalkboard is non-living? What about a crayon? Was your response a crayon is non-living? What about a person? A person is living. Table. A table is non-living. Flower. A flower is living. If you answered all of those questions or responses in a complete sentence, you were listening, and I am so excited to continue our read aloud. While you are listening today, listen to find out what plants need to live. What do you see in this picture? Did you say living things? Or maybe you responded with kitten, little girl, tree. There are many different kinds of people, animals, and plants that live in our world. The word plant means living things that have leaves and roots and make their own food. You probably recognize many of the living things in this picture. In some ways, people, animals, and plants are alike. They are all alive. They need food, water, and air to grow and stay alive. But plants, people, and animals are different in many other ways. How do you think plants and animals are different? Did you respond with people move and plants don't move? Or people have legs and arms and animals have legs and that plants do not? There are many different responses you could have said. Unlike animals and people, plants do not make sounds and they cannot move from one place to another. Plants need four basic things in order to live and grow: food, water, air, and light. If a plant has these things, then it can survive, even in a little crack in the sidewalk. The yellow flowering plant in this picture is called a dandelion. A few weeks ago, a tiny dandelion seed floated through the air and landed in this crack where there was just enough soil for it to begin to grow. Soil is the top layer of dirt where plants can grow. This dandelion gets plenty of sun here in the sidewalk, and it also gets plenty of air, water, and nutrients. Nutrients are like the vitamins you get from your food. This shady forest is home to many different types of plants, from the tallest trees to the tiniest flower. A forest is a large area of land where many trees grow close together. Animals that live in the forest depend on these plants for food and for their homes. This forest is just one environment or place where living things live, of many on this earth. This is another type of forest. There are some major differences between the colors and shapes of the leaves on these trees and the leaves on the trees in the last picture. In a later lesson, you will learn about two different types of trees. This environment looks very different from the forest we saw in the last images. All plants need food, water, air, and light. But not every place in the world has exactly the same amount of food, water, air, or light. This is a desert where it is hot and dry all year round. Plants that grow here, such as this cactus, have adapted to a life in sandy soil with very little rainfall beneath the blazing hot sun. That tough little dandelion in the trees you saw earlier would wither and die if you tried to plant them here. And the cactus in this desert would not be able to live in either the sidewalk crack or the forest. Different types of plants grow in different environments or places. This picture shows an underwater environment. Fish may be the first things that come to mind when you think about underwater life, but there are plants down there too. Underwater plants need the same things other plants need, including food, water, air, and light. Have you ever seen underwater plants? Did you say yes because you have a fish tank at home? Or maybe you've been to an aquarium? Maybe you said no. Maybe you just have not seen a fish tank or been to a store and looked at the fish aquariums. Either response is okay. This environment is not a forest, not a desert, and definitely not underwater. This is a city park made when some people gathered seeds and planted them in the ground. People plant grass seeds on lawns and in parks so there are nice places to play and relax. People plant flowers and trees to make the world a prettier place. Some plants can be grown indoors. Maybe you even have one in your classroom or at home with you. If so, someone needs to water it from time to time so it stays healthy and green. All plants have four basic needs: food, water, air, and light. But not all plants can grow in all the same places on Earth. A dandelion cannot grow in the desert, and a corn plant cannot grow underwater. Over the next several days, you will learn all about different types of plants and plant parts, and you will understand why plants are so important to animals and people. Can you name some of the different places where plants live? Did you say in the desert or underwater? Maybe in a park? If you responded with one of those, you were listening to the details in our story. So think about the desert cactus and the house plant. How are these plants the same and how are they different? Did you say that both the desert cactus and the house plant were the same because they both need food, water, air, and light to survive? Did you say that they were different because of where they grow? The cactus lives in a different environment. It lives in the desert, where the houseplant lives inside a home. What did you learn about plants in this read aloud that makes you think plants are living things? Did you say that they need food? Plants need water? Plants need air? Plants need light to live, just like people. Are plants living or non living? Did you say that if plants did not have food, water, air, and light, that they would not be able to stay alive? I want you to talk with mom and dad, or an older brother or sister, or maybe the babysitter, whoever is home helping you with today's story. I want you to think, pair, share. Name one way plants and animals are the same and one way they are different. Did you respond that they are the same because they need food, water, and air to live and both reproduce? But they are different because animals can move from one place to the other, but plants cannot. I hope you have enjoyed our introduction story to our unit on plants, and I look forward to our next story.